The flight landed earlier than expected. Mine, not hers. The terminal was half empty, the kind of silence airports have before dawn, where even footsteps sound intrusive. I was rolling my suitcase toward the exit when I saw her, Lena, my wife. She wasn't supposed to be here. She thought I'd arrive tomorrow evening. She was standing near the arrival gate, clutching a bouquet of white lilies, her favorite flowers, not mine. She kept glancing at the digital board, scanning arrivals. Then her face changed. A smile broke across her lips, wide and unguarded, and she ran. Not toward me, toward him. A man in a black coat stepped through the sliding doors. She leapt into his arms. The flowers trembled, crushed between their bodies. He lifted her off the ground, spinning her once like a scene from a cheap romance movie. My breath didn't catch. My heart didn't stop. It simply slowed. They didn't see me. Or maybe they did, and it didn't matter. She kissed him like I was a forgotten word. I didn't call her name, didn't move, didn't even blink. I just watched, long enough to memorize the rhythm of betrayal, long enough to feel something inside me freeze, perfectly still. When she finally pulled away, laughing, I turned and walked out of the terminal. The sound of rolling wheels followed me like a metronome. That night, I lay beside her. She had returned late, said she was picking up her friend's husband from a delayed flight. The scent of lilies lingered on her hands. She talked about dinner plans, the weather, the promotion she didn't get. Not once did she mention the airport. Not once did she look me directly in the eyes. I listened, smiled when appropriate, nodded when required. Inside, every word she spoke twisted like glass. When she fell asleep, I stared at the ceiling. The image replayed again and again. Her laugh, her arms around him, the flowers. It wasn't jealousy that burned through me. It was recognition. She had practiced that smile before. On me. I remembered the first time she met me at the airport years ago. She had run the same way, her hair wild, eyes alive. She had held lilies then too. Now she had given that moment to someone else. I turned toward her sleeping form, studying the soft rise and fall of her chest. She looked peaceful. I wondered if she dreamt of him. Something inside me shifted, not rage, not grief, but decision. I would not confront her. Not yet. Truth, I've learned, loses its edge when shouted. But when whispered, when revealed at the right moment, it cuts far deeper. The next morning, I started to collect pieces, quietly. The airport's parking system was digital, easy to trace. I checked our shared car tracker. She had parked there for 2 hours, flight details confirmed. I found his name in her texts, under Elena Florist. Cute. No romantic messages, just meeting schedules, invoices, and once, a photo of lilies captioned, "He'll love these." He, not she. I took screenshots, printed them, placed them in a plain envelope. In the following days, I observed. She smiled at her phone a little too often. She wore perfume she hadn't used in years, one I once complimented for its honest scent. She started gym sessions, bought new dresses for client events, and locked her phone at night. But I never changed. I cooked breakfast, paid bills, and kissed her forehead before work. Predictability is the perfect disguise for suspicion. One afternoon, I followed her car. She stopped near the botanical garden, stepped out, and met him again. This time, there were no flowers, just hands that lingered too long. I didn't approach, didn't take photos, didn't need to. What I wanted was not proof, it was clarity. And clarity takes patience. When I got home that night, she asked if I wanted dinner. I told her I wasn't hungry. She smiled softly, relieved. She thought the distance was working in her favor. It wasn't. It was building her stage. The truth arrived on a rainy Thursday. I'd requested a background check from a private investigator, a small favor from an old friend. The file came sealed, marked confidential. Inside, everything. His name, his address, his occupation. He worked for the same company as me, different branch, same department. He was the one who arranged my last business trip, the one who accidentally extended it by a day. They weren't just lovers, they were strategic. I came home early that evening. She was on the couch, scrolling through her phone. I set the envelope on the coffee table and said, "Open it." Her smile faltered. She opened it. Watched her hands tremble as she flipped through the photos, the call logs, the airport records. The final page, a printed shot of her and him, framed by the terminal's arrival gate. Silence. Then a whisper, "It's not what you think." I tilted my head slightly. "Then what is it?" She broke. Tears, excuses, pleas. I didn't respond, just watched, calm, detached, like an observer studying a dying flame. When she realized I wasn't reacting, the tears stopped. Fear replaced guilt. I stood, walked to the drawer, pulled out my keys, phone, and a second envelope, this one smaller, sealed in red. "I'm leaving tomorrow," I said quietly. "The house is in your name now. I transferred everything this morning." Her eyes widened. What? You're just walking away?" I smiled faintly. "No, you are." Inside the red envelope were copies of her messages with him sent to HR anonymously from my private server. Adultery, conflict of interest, ethics violation. Her job would be gone before the lilies wilted. His too. I didn't need to ruin them publicly. I just needed to let gravity do its work. As I reached the door, she said through broken breath, "You can't do this to me." I turned, meeting her eyes for the first time that night. "I'm not doing anything to you, Lena. I'm just stopping what I did for you." Then I left. I didn't look back when I heard her sobs echo down the hall. I had already spent years listening to sounds I mistook for love. At the airport the next day, I stood where she once stood, by the gate, watching people reunite. Flowers, hugs, promises. I felt nothing. The same place where she betrayed me had become my quiet exit, not of pain, of freedom. As the announcement called my flight, I smiled faintly at the irony. She'd met someone else at this gate. I was meeting myself. When the plane lifted off, I didn't think of her, only of silence, and how peaceful betrayal sounds once it's gone.